गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the Assembly. All glories to the Assembly. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class will be from Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 15, 1 to 15. The class was given in Vrindavan on the 26th of October 1972. 1 to 15, 1 5.
The previous verse, it is said, Tasmadikina manasa bhagavan sastadang pati srotavya kirtitabbast dhiya pujjasta nittata. These things we have discussed last morning, that we have to engage ourselves fully in Krishna consciousness by hearing, Srotavya, by hearing. In other words, Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasivanam, Archanam Bandanam Rasam Sakhamatma Nivedam. These are the devotional process. Here, first of all, hearing. Hearing means the perfect knowledge, hearing from the authority. Because we are ignorant, just like we go to school, colleges, and hear from the teachers, from the professor. Similarly, hearing means hearing from the authority, not from the rascal. That is hearing. Just like in the Vedas it is said, Tad Vijnanatham sa gurumeva avigatse. To hear the right news, the perfect knowledge, you must approach the bona fide spiritual master. Gurum eva avigatse. Must. It is not that I can get knowledge at home. Why shall I go to Guru? I do not find any Guru. These things are correct very much. It may be there is no Guru, not at all. You cannot say that. Just like there are imitation coins. You are met with some imitation coins. That does not mean there is no real coin. You are unfortunate, you met with imitation coin. Just don't make that calculation that there is no real coin, all imitation. That is not. There is imitation coin and there is real coin. It is up to you to find out which is the real and which is the imitation. The Bhagavad gives you direction that if you are actually serious about finding out a Guru, who requires a Guru, who requires Tasmat Gurum Prapadeta, one should surrender and to Guru, Jigyasu Srila A.C. One who is inquisitive to understand the transcendental knowledge. The ordinary man does not require to search out the Guru to find out astrology. Guruji, kindly tell me what will be the price next. Not that Guru. Jigyasu Srila A.C. One who is serious to understand about the transcendental knowledge. Uttama, Udgata Tamam. Beyond this material world. This material world is Tama, dark. So, if one is very serious to inquire about the world of light, for him there is need of Guru. Not for ordinary person. Guru, we should not make a Guru as a fashion. No. Everyone makes a Guru, let me have a Guru also, any kind of. No, that is not required. Guru is required by somebody who is serious to know about the transcendental world, the world of light. Tamasi ma jyotitam, the world of jyoti. Na tatra bhasayate surya, na chandra. That world, where there is no need of sun, moon, electricity. There is another world. That we get information from Bhagavad Gita. Parastasmatu bhava anya. There is another nature, which is sanatana. It's eternal. This world, this material world is not eternal. Just like we have got this body, this is not eternal. It is temporary. It has got some particular date of its birth and it has got some particular date of its annihilation. Similarly, this gigantic body, universe, it is created at a certain date and it will be annihilated at a certain date. This is material world. But there is another world, that information we get from Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literature, spiritual world, and this material world is only 1/4 of the whole creation. Ekamshena situna. Atava bahunitena kinyatena tavajana vishtabhyam idam aham Krsnam ekamshena situna. This is only one part. The 3/4 part is the spiritual world. In this world, the living entities, they are very small number. All these living entities throughout the whole universe, 14 worlds, they are only some limited. But in the spiritual world, the number of living entities are unlimited. These information we have to hear. Therefore here it is said, Sotavya, one must hear. Sotavya, therefore Vedic knowledge is called Shruti. It has to be acquired by hearing. Shruti, not by seeing, not by experimental knowledge. That is not possible. Because it is beyond. Beyond our sense perception. Achinta khaluji bhava natastarkena jujay. Don't try to understand by false argument, dry argument, which is beyond your consciousness, beyond your reach. Simply waste of time. Then how to know? Na srotavya, you have to hear. That is the only means. The example I have given several times. That if you want to know who is your father, it is the srotavya. From where from the authority, my mother. You cannot manufacture your knowledge with your father. No, you cannot speculate. That is not because it is beyond your reach. The father was existing before your birth. So how you can understand father by experimental knowledge? That is not possible. You have to accept the statement of your mother. That's all. Finished. Similarly, Vedas, our mother of knowledge. Puranas, our sisters of knowledge. So we have to consult from the Vedas and from the right person. Tatvijnanatham sa gurumeva, that's from the Guru. Not that you purchase one book, Vedas from the market, and you become a Vedantist. No. That is not possible. Tatvijnanatham sa gurumeva abhigachet, must go to understand. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. These are the injunctions. Srota, this is the process of srota. Tadvidhi pranipate, you have to hear by surrender. First of all, you have to find out where you can surrender. Because everyone is big man. Why he shall surrender? So unless he finds out somebody where he can surrender, then that is the beginning of transcendental knowledge. Srota. So, who can be a bigger personality than Krishna? So, hear from Krishna, hear from Vyasdev, hear from Narada, hear from their representative, Narada's representative Vyasdev, Vyasdev representative Madhyamuni. Similarly, in that parampara system, Evang parampara praptam, Evang rajasayogi. So we have to catch up the parampara, disciplic chain, bona fide spiritual master, and from him we have to hear. So the pure. Now in the next verse, it is said that Jadanodhyasina, pure, simply by thinking of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, meditating about Krishna, worshipping Krishna, you become perfect. That is assured in the Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava bhakta madhyajimang namaskuru. So the Krishna consciousness movement is very simple. We are teaching people that here is God, Krishna. We can give you the name, address, form and everything. Yes. Krishna says, Tadhama Paramango. He is giving his address. Jadvatyana nivartanti. Where you go, you don't require to come back. Tadhama Paramamam. So Krishna is giving information about his abode. So simply you have to qualify yourself to go there. That's all. That qualification is simply Manmanam Abhavad Bhakta Madhyajimang Namaskuru. Simply think of me, and if you simply think of Krishna, you become the greatest yogi. Yoginamapi sarvesam madgata antarapana sadhyavan bhajati jumang samijittatamo. It's the first class yogi. So we are teaching our people to become the first class yogi. People are very much attached to the yoga system, mystic yoga system. But the goal of yoga system is Krishna. Therefore, Krishna's name is Yogeshwara. By practicing yoga, if you don't find Krishna, then samayeva hi kevalam. Then simply you have wasted your time for nothing. For nothing. Yes. person. Aradhita jadi hari tapasa tatakki. Tapasya, austerity, means to understand Krishna. So if we understand Krishna, then there is no need of any more tapasya. Tapasya business is finished. And if you do not understand Krishna, simply undergoing tapasya, it is simply waste of time. Aradhita jadi haris tapasa tatakkim. Naradhita jadi haris tapasa tatakkim. So, here it is the same thing. Jadonodhyasina jukta karma ganthi nibandhanam. Nibandhanam. It is tightly interknotted. Our karma ganthi. We had some types of activities in our past life, and you have got this body. Everyone. Karmana daiva netrena jantar deha upapatti. The different types of body, 8,400,000 species of life, different types of body. Jalajanavlakhani, 900,000 species in the water in this way. Plants, creepers, serpents, insects, birds, trees, then human form. This is the process of evolution. So, each body is a concession by Krishna. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. You want to do something, just like for doing something you must have particular type of instrument. Similarly, the body means particular type of instrument. So you desire to do something, Krishna gives you a particular type with the senses and you act. This is the change of body. Karmana daivanetrena. Daivanetrena, by superior examination, it is settled out that this man or this beast is dying. Of course, for lower than animals, they have got natural process of evolution. But when you come to the human form of body, you have got responsibility. Now, you can make your next life better than this or lower than this. Just like one man is given the chance of become some minister or magistrate. If he does very nice, he is promoted, otherwise degraded. Similarly, this human form of life is meant for understanding God. That is the only business. If we don't understand what is God, what is Krishna, and our relationship with Him, then we are missing the point. Then we become entangled. This entanglement is karma ganthi nibandhana. By our karma. By different kind of karma we are becoming entangled. So to unknot this binding of entanglement is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Yogyate karma. You work simply for yoga, for satisfaction of yoga, Jaggapati, Vishnu, or God, or Krishna. Yogyate karma. Annatra karma bandana. If you do not act for Krishna, do not act for Vishnu or yoga, then karma bandhana. Yajñartha karma, annatra karma bandhana. So this is karma bandhana. This karma bandhana begins from our attachment to this material world. How our material attachment increases, that is also explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Pungshan Sriya Mithuni Bhava Meta. Mithuni Bhava. There is sex impulse between man and woman. There are two classes of living entities, man and woman, or male or female. So, the male is attracted by the female and the female is attracted by the male. Pungsang Sriyam Mithuni Bhava. What is that attraction? Central point, sex life. So, this mentality, this propensity is there not only in human body, but in the animal body also. That same propensity, sex life. So, but everyone is searching after where is a male, where is a female. And when they are united, the karmaganthi becomes tight. That's all. Pungsang siya mithini bhava tayor mitha hridayaganti mahu. They are searching after. And as soon as they are united, they become tightly not hridayaganti. So, this is called samsara. This is called material existence. One life after another, one life after another, one life after another. This is called karmaganthi nigandha. See, if we want to unknot this tight fitting of our heart, now again it is said that as soon as the male-female is united, then further tightening begins. What is that? Atakshetra griha apta pitya. In this way, first of all we are united, husband and wife. Then we want a nice apartment or house, griha. Then to maintain the house we require a field of activity. Generally, formally they are agricultural, so you must have income. Atagriha chetra suta, then children, then apta, friends. Atagriha chetra sutapta vittoi, then again money. In this way our attachment increases. Janasya mohoyam ahamameti. In this way our illusory position, moho, increases one after another, one after another. This is called karmaganthi nibandhana. Karmaganthi nibandhana. Therefore, the Vedic civilization is to educate from the very beginning a child to become a brahmachari. That is the basic principle of education. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaro acharit pragya dharmana bhagavatani. Not that in old age, when I shall retire, I shall see what is Krishna consciousness. That will be very difficult. From the very beginning of life, Kaumaro acharit pragya. Dharmana bhagavata, especially, there are many kinds of religious principles, but Dharmana Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says, real dharma is Bhagavatam. It means our understanding, our relationship with God, Bhagavan. That is the Dharmana Bhagavatam. So, here the same thing is explained, that Jadanodhyasina Yukta, simply by chanting, or hearing or meditating upon Krishna, Jadanadhyasina Yuktya, Karmaganthi Nibandhana. This Oshina, just like we require a knife to cut the knot, similarly, if we want to cut the knot of this material existence, unfortunately people do not understand that what is the wrong in the material existence. They haven't got even the simple knowledge. They think it is all right. They are ignorant. So much ignorant that they have no buddhi. They consider this bodily concept of life. The body is finished and everything is finished. This is the philosophy going on all over the world. Big professors, philosophers, scientists, they are on this platform of thinking. I met one big professor in Moscow. He is Professor Kotovsky. He said, Swamiji, after finishing this body, everything is finished. Just see, he is a professor. He has no knowledge that there is life after death. So, world is going like that. They do not know what is karma ganti, what is transmigration, nothing. Simply superficial. Blind men, they are leading other blind men, therefore they are kept in ignorance and the world is suffering therefore. They do not know what is the goal of life. Nati vidu sartha gatingi Vishnu durasayaji bahiratthama. They are trying to adjust things by illusory energy, that's all. Therefore, andhajathandhi rupuniyamana, it is exactly like a blind man is trying to lead other blind men. This is therefore, this is the process. Jad anudhyasina. You have to take one knife. This is knife. What is that? Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. This is knife. If you want to get rid of this entanglement of material existence, one body after another, then this is the only instrument by which you can unknot the knot and come out of the entanglement. Chinnanti, this very word is used, chinnanti, it cuts. Chinnanti, kovidastasya. Kovida means very intelligent person. Unless one is very intelligent, he cannot take to Krishna consciousness. It is not our manufactured word. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that namane duskitana mudha prapadante naradham. So, our taste is, if anyone is not Krishna conscious, he is either of these. Duskitina, mudha, naradhama, maya, apuritatta. This is our conclusion. You may say it is very sectarian, but Krishna says, what can I do? Krishna says. So therefore, as soon as we find out a person, he has no knowledge of Krishna, we put him either of this category. Mudha, duskitina, naradhama, maya, apuritatta. These are their qualities. Therefore it is said here, Chillanti Kovida. He is neither of these rascals, miscreants, mudha, naradhama, maya. Kovida. Very intelligent. Kovidastasya kola pujyat kathamrati. Anyone who has understood that simply by hearing about Krishna, talking about Krishna, working for Krishna, one can become released from this entanglement, will not accept it. For example, just see, in the Western countries, all the younger generation, they are so much addicted to intoxication. And the government is spending millions of dollars how to stop it. But they have become unable. But just see how wonderful is this Krishna consciousness movement. Anyone who is coming to us, immediately by our restriction, because as soon as he is initiated, he is made to promise no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. From that very date, he gives up everything. And here are so many samples you can see. So Chinnanti, Karma Ganti Nibandana. Immediate. It is not story, it is practical. Karma Ganti Nibandana. Govidastasya Chinnanti. They are trying so much. There we have got very practical experience. That even one cannot give up drinking tea. It is It is very difficult. Nobody can give up drinking tea. Nobody can give up smoking and want to speak of meat eating and gambling and illicit sex. But Krishna consciousness is so nice that even children, boys, young boys and girls, they give up very easily, simply coming to Krishna consciousness. So this is a fact. Chinnanti ko vidastasya. Simply by hearing about Krishna, simply chanting about Krishna. There is no other medicine, there is no other magic or mystic power. So they are giving up. If we take sincere Krishna consciousness, all these things, entanglement, will immediately vanquished. That's a fact. Kovidastasya. Chinnanti kovidastasya. Purnapujjat kathamratin. So this is the easiest process. If one is very, very intelligent, then he takes to Krishna consciousness, surrenders to Krishna, and his life becomes successful. He becomes free from so many addictions. This is the result of Krishna consciousness. Jasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunai tattva samasate. And simply by becoming a devotee of Krishna, all the good qualities of the demigods, just like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Nadara, and many demigods, they are good qualified, otherwise how they are posted in such exalted position. They are very qualified. So, simply by becoming Krishna conscious, all the good qualities of the demigods, or all godly qualities, will manifest. There is no doubt about it. Bhakti parishanubhava virakti, they will be reluctant. Parang dishtani vartat. They will find something so nice that they will give up all this. This is the process. Unless you give something better, how one can give up his bad habits? Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he delivered Jagai Madhai. They were all this addicted to illicit sex, meat eating, drinking, and intoxication, gambling. That is what their business. So Nityananda Prabhu went to deliver them. That first of all, these rascals should be delivered. Therefore, he went there. They were very angry. They hurt him by throwing one stone on his forehead, and blood came out. Still Nityananda Prabhu said, all right, I don't mind. Please chant Hare Krishna. This is preaching. Nityananda. But when Lord Chaitanya heard it, he became very angry. He wanted to kill them immediately. So, Nityananda Prabhu requested that in this incarnation you have promised not to accept any weapon. Please become kind upon them. This is the person, this is the business of Guru. Guru introduces with God and prays to God, please excuse me. This is Guru. And by the request of Guru, God agrees to excuse. This is the process. So, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply asked them that I can accept you simply if you agree not to commit any more sinful activities. This is the condition. Not that you go on with your sinful activities and go on chanting also. This is called Namnat Balat Jasahi Papa Buddhi. There are many persons, they think, oh, we are expert in chanting, so in the morning let us commit all kinds of sinful activities, and in the evening I shall chant, it will be counteracted. Not that kind of chanting required. That is offense, greatest offense. Namnad balajyasahi papa buddhi. One must give up for good all the propensities for sinful activities. Then take to Krishna consciousness and it will act. Otherwise, if you go on keeping both the lines, that whole day I shall commit all sinful activities and at night I shall chant, just like in Christian church, there is a system, confession. At the end of the week, they go to the church and they confess before the priest. I have done so many sinful activities. So pays something and he says, all right, excuse. Again from Monday begins sinful activities. Yes. Not like that. Once you stop sinful activities, you cannot commit again. Then Krishna will save you. Aham tva sarva papi bhama kushyami. Krishna is not so fool that you simply once surrender to him and then commit sinful activities and again surrender to him. No, that will not be allowed. Krishna can excuse you once or twice, but if you commit, then it will act and people will be benefited. Chindanti ko vidastasya kona kujjat kathamrati. So, kathamrati, attraction for Krishna katha. Simply let us hear, let us chant, let us think of Krishna, that will make us very much rapidly progressing on the spiritual path. Thank you.
Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Gyan Timiranda Sagananjana Shalagya Chakshurumalitam Jena Tasmai Sigurave Namah. So Srila Prabhupada gave this class where? Do you remember? In Vrindavan, yes. And which canto was he talking about? Canto 1, chapter 2, text 15. Yeah, you always remember the number. Hari Hari, Haribol. So Prabhupada opened up the discussion by citing something very important about spiritual life that we do. It's one of the 8 types of devotional service. What did he say in the beginning? Shravanam, yeah, hearing. By hearing, one has to activate the hearing, Shravanam, this hearing process. And who do, Prabhupada said, we approach someone to do that. Tad vijnanartam sagurum eva vigachet, Prabhupada mentioned, the Guru. And the Guru has to be in the line of the parampara, disciple succession. Prabhupada was saying, just like, there are many good coins and fake coins. Prabhupada was saying you have to be careful what coin you will earn, because there is a lot of cheaters outside there. You'll end up with false money. So it all depends how sincerely you work and inquire, and that coin will come to you. And then Prabhupada said the transcendental knowledge that we receive from the Guru it's useful for what? I'll give a hint. Chintani. Yes. Yeah, for cutting what? Material existence. And then how this knot becomes manifest in the beginning, the most powerful one. He gave the example. Yes, correct. Field. Yes, the field of activity. Then you have to perform so much activities. It becomes karma, bandana, bondage, material activity, and it's very difficult to get out of it. So he said in the 8,400,000 species of life, that's what everyone does. They take birth, then they're attracted to the opposite sex, they create a progeny, and then they work very... I had a wasp nest for 1 week on the side of my house. They were very busy, extremely busy, working very hard to serve the queen. The queen was underground. And it's amazing that, we did a lot of Google research. 22 days they live. In 22 days, this is just the species of the wasps. In 22 days, they take birth, then they grow, and then they find a partner, they procreate the children, and then, they work very hard, to build the nest, and then they die. But it's a lot of work. They were very busy, left, right, up and down. And this is just one species, animal species. And it made me thinking, how in every species of life there is a similar kind of activity. And but we are all imprisoned by the 4 miseries, like old age, disease, birth, and death. So then Prabhupada said to cut from this karma bandhana, one has to engage in shruti, acquiring shruti from a spiritual master. It was all about hearing and cutting, the chintani, cutting of this bondage. And he said also the guru is the best person to tell you where to find your parents. And who are the parents Prabhupada was talking about? Who is the mother? The Vedas. And then when you study the Vedas, the Veda tells you who is the ahambija pradapita, who is the father, who is your original father. Not the one who brings you in this world, but the one who created you. And then he said, then we can understand a little bit about the paravyoma, the spiritual world, which is how many times bigger than the material world, Prabhupada mentioned. 3 times, 3 times bigger. And yeah, actually you're both correct, because sometimes says, it's 3 times bigger, and sometimes says it's the 4th part. What do you think, Govinda? It's the same thing, isn't it? 3 times bigger. Yeah. So it's 1/4 then. 1/4 compared to the spiritual world. The material world is 1/4. So then he was saying, simply thinking of Krishna approaching a guru in the bona fide parampara, then, but one has to practice the what type of yoga Prabhupada was mentioning. The topmost yoga, which is, is in the 18th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. The yoga of devotion. Otherwise, and then Prabhupada went on, that it's not, hearing is not enough from the Guru, but practicing the Bhakti Yoga is not enough. One has to give up the four sins, the four sinful activities towards the end. Otherwise, then he will be committing the seventh offense. Which one is the seventh offense of the holy name? Yes, that's very important one. That is the reason why every morning devotees, they recite the 10 offenses to remind ourselves, because it's quite difficult. Spiritual life is difficult, and you can see that many practitioners, devotees, they astray, they deviate from spiritual life because it's difficult to give up completely sinful activities. And Prabhupada was saying just to give up tea was so difficult. Tea, right? He said in the class. It was when he had an argument with his wife. If you read in the Lilamrita, he said, either me or the Bhagavatam, something like that. I can't remember. Either the tea or the Bhagavatam. Yeah, me or tea, something like that. But she chose tea. You can see, and that tea is not something, really. Sorry, you wanted to say something? Yeah.
If I can ask a question now or ask it later,
Sure.
It's about the point, but as you were...
No, ask now. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I need some clarification on this seventh offense. So the example generally I hear is if someone has a mentality that, let me do some sin, and then by chanting, my sin will go. Now if you put it like that, that's a like, sounds devious mentality. Now a devotee may succumb to their sensual senses, and break regulated principles, which is sinful activity. Is there there is a difference, and maybe you can expand on that difference, but then what's this offense referring to? Is the offense just referring to one who does sinful activity, who is an actual chanting practitioner, or is it specifically referring to one who has a mentality that, let me do some sin, and I'm going to be fine by the evening when I chant or fine by the morning? And yeah, thank you.
It's pretty much synonymous. The tendency to commit offenses, the habit. The Prabhupada mentioned the word chintani many times in this talk. Is to cut the habit of committing sins. And also, additionally, once the intention is good to cut the habit, we have to maintain the sincere mentality of not premeditate, think, because of it's like when you switch off the fan, you may be unplugged from the electricity, but the fan is still going on. And so therefore there is still, like a reaction there, whatever it is, the rubbish, flying on your face, or the wind. So because the fun is still going on. And because of that, that going on is still impelling you to commit sin. That's why Prabhupada at the end, he quoted Lord Chaitanya when he went to punish Jagai and Madai. He said, I will completely absolve you, give you liberation, but one thing I request. What was it?
Not sin again.
Yes, to not sin again. And that's why, and we were coming to that, when we sit, spiritual life really begins when you sit in front of the Guru and you promise that you give up these 4 sinful activities. But, there is the factor of mercy on the other side, that we think, oh, it's not that bad, even if I fall down once, happy day to Sudaracharo. And Krishna will forgive. Krishna is merciful. As long, I carry on chanting will absolve, me from sins. But that mentality, it's, Prabhupada actually mentioned, he said you could be forgiven once, twice. But then if you carry on like that, then you're going to have a problem. You will only be cheating yourself, and you will lose the Krishna consciousness. Because the sins, they drag you away from Krishna. Sin, what is a sin? A sin is an apparat, like upper, upper sampradaya. Upper means also distance, distantiate you from the apparat, from the devotion, Radharani. So we have to be, that's the meaning of the word, apparat. You commit offenses and then you're taken away from Krishna. Yes, Guruji.
Guru, that's his comments there. I think above everything, because there's so many variables to consider. So when one commits a sin, whether it's willful or not, but I think above all, the consideration is intention. And I think God sees intention. We can't hide that. He knows exactly what our intention is, and whether and that basis will be judge, punish or release or something. But the intention is so important. It's not so much the action, but it's the intention.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I feel.
Premeditate.
Yeah. Yes. It's the
Intention.
intention.
Yeah. It's what kills the sincerity. Just like a drug addict, is dragged away by the impulse of drugs. He's got money, he's got the drugs and everything, but the intention is, no, I want to stay away from this. I don't want to do this anymore. So that's what, he's got the sins, in his hands, in his power, but he's not intending to hurt himself. That's correct. It's what, the intention is the bhakti. When you cook, you have to know you're intending to cook for who? For your pleasure or for Krishna? When you serve, you have to understand who you try. What the activity is meant to please someone or to get something. It's always good to check yourself. The intent. What is the intent? Is it selfish or is altruistic? So because the body is being given by Krishna, so we have to, treat it nicely, serve it nicely, and not hurt it. It's that is why we have to give up sin, because it's a vehicle. You maintain it nicely, and it will bring you to salvation, liberation. That's why it's important to avoid sins personally, and also avoid offenses, to that will, create anxiety for other people. So both are important. We have to be very vigilant the way we think, rational, before you do something. So anything else? Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhupada said, one blind man tries to lead another blind man.
Yes.
Like one demon is trying to lead another demon. Like that.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to find, a bona fide guru. Otherwise, we are led by unqualified people, and they lead us in a ditch. And once you go in the ditch, that's it. The offenses when we perform, the offenses, they are compared to be like a ditch. You fall inside, it's difficult to get out. But sense gratification is like a bumps on the road. You trip over, you can always get up, and carry on. Habit is like that. When you're forced by the habit to commit sins, it's not that bad. But offenses, it's worse. And usually, we are led by, blind people.
Yeah, he says in 6.47, Yoginam Api Sarvesham.
Mankatenantaratmana. Yeah. So, it's 8:35 and I think it's time for breakfast. Yes, you had something else? Quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Nice to see you, Gurudas.
Just maybe add to the discussion, or we could discuss it after. It's just Krishna Katha so interesting. So, nice. I also heard Srila Prabhupada say, was they asked him, what's an accident? What's an accident? Accidental fall down. And Prabhupada once says, if they come back, then it was an accident. So then it's usually, now Prabhupada's showing some other mercy on another side, on such a high level, that if someone has just gone off to their whatever crazy life and come back, then overall it was an accident. But of course, there's that. I also, there's another quote by Srila Prabhupada, slightly paraphrasing it. Even if one is a thief or murderer, one should not give up this chanting. So that's there as well. I think also even the intention of understanding these quotes is also important, because if you want to cheat, then you can find the quote to cheat. If you want to be sincere, you can be, but everyone always has a chance to go forward.
Yeah.
But it seems like offenses we have to avoid. But something interesting, I'm finding that one thing Kadamba Karmaj had once said, I don't know which exact contents, but he said, and he was talking about generally many of us, he says, you're a walking offense. So it's like, to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, many of us practitioners in ISKCON, we may be maintaining material attachments. So we're also, a lot of our chanting is also at that Namaprad, and if we're lucky, we might be coming up to some Namabhas. So, but the same, so this one, sorry, I'm just...
Yeah, no, of course. There is no loss and diminution. In the service that we do, even if it's done with imperfections, with sins, offenses, there is one just to encourage everyone. Purport where Prabhupada said, the offenses, sinful activity, they're like snow. There is a snow, it comes, it's compared to the reaction from sense gratification. But the ice is the reaction from offenses, very difficult. And you need the sun, to melt down everything. Once the sun melts down, then you can see the color of the flowers, the mountains. So the sun, as soon as you pick up Krishna consciousness again, then everything melts down. Then you are back immediately. Even if you go away from ISKCON, then as soon as you start to think of Krishna, you're back. That's the old training of the mind, because Krishna is always more powerful than these sinful activities, than darkness. He was saying in the class today, he mentioned something in Sanskrit that, the Lord is more powerful than the darkness. And but of course we should not try to take advantage of this. Oh, Krishna is like the sun, as soon as I think of him, everything will melt, so I can carry on committing sinful activities, and then, I think of Krishna afterwards. That means also, you use the holy name of Krishna as a tool, for cleaning yourself. And it's like the elephant bath, isn't it? So, anyway, well, we'll stop here, and Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Haribol.